Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video we'll be counting down the top 5 legendary weapons manufactured by Atlas, the pioneers of advanced weapon tech here in Borderlands 3. They're the rarest weapons of the bunch. You have to go out of your way to find them. And I'll be telling you what they do, what strengths they have, and how you should be using them. Great responses last week with those TDR weapon ideas, some really great ones in there, and we'll be finishing off with Hyperion next week. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, and if you find yourself watching the content and you're not subscribed, subscribing helps keep the ball rolling. And let's crack into it. We open this countdown of the top 5 legendary weapons manufactured by Atlas with the Rebel Yell, an Atlas assault rifle that only comes in kinetic and has an increased chance to drop from the sky bullies, the bullies from the sky who you fight around here in the Anvil. In the midnight hour, the Rebel Yell deals okay amounts of damage, firing at a good clip with a relatively small magazine size. What sets it apart from other Atlas weapons is its tracker rounds, which don't scan the area and mark hostiles. Instead, it fires shock darts, which not only tag enemies, but do damage. It's a nice effect in theory, but a tracker grenade would be better considering they don't really hurt, just tickle. Like a lot of Atlas guns, the tracker rounds fall down when you realise they can't hit crits, and most of them are better avoiding that feature altogether, but if you run a critical focus flak build, then you won't need to worry about that. Next up is the Plumage, or Ruby's Wrath. Both are non-elemental rocket launchers. The Ruby's Wrath drops from Chonk Stomp around here in Floodmore Basin, and the Plumage belongs to DLC 3 and has an increased chance to drop from Rendon-esque. You fight around here in the Blast Plains. Both guns are pretty much identical. The Plumage just trades a Vortex Grenade for a traditional tracker round and an extra rocket. It fires 8 in total, which home in on anyone tagged by its tracker rounds. Like a lot of Atlas guns, you don't have to think about aiming while you're using it, and the rockets make it all the more hectic. When all 8 veer off into the same foe, they often send them flying, only to be hunted down by the upcoming cluster. You get a lot of playtime with it too compared to other launchers, allowing you to use it more like an explosive shotgun, which is always a good time. Now at number 3, and it's the OPQ system, which is extremely underleveled right now, but still gets the job done. It's a Cartel event exclusive, dropping from Josie Bite, Franco Firewall, and of course Joey Ultraviolet himself. It's funny how a gun that's 8 levels under the cap right now is still better than half the Atlas weapons out there. Either there's no standout Atlas weapons, or the OPQ system is almost brokenly good, and it's both. It's like the epic rarity Q system, but overpowered. I mean, it's in the name. It fires 2 projectiles a shot that deal high damage with the occasional shock round thrown in. It's my bet that when this gun returns, it will have the Monarch beat, and I'd say you could be looking at the future #1 weapon in the game. Time will tell. How much time? Let's say about a couple of months. For now though, this gun still does work. It's a contender for top spot, and when back at full strength, it's a must-have weapon for absolutely everyone. In second place is the Multi-Tap. This one's a pistol, which again can't come in an element, although like the OPQ system, does have some elemental spice to it. It's a MAME 6+ weapon that you'll get fastest by targeting Katagable's ball, his right one, found around here in Skywale 27. The Multi-Tap fires at a steady pace, but does deal solid damage. It comes with the typical alt-firing mode, which tags enemies for the smart bullets to home in on. However, there is a greater incentive to do so, as whenever you reload, cryo rockets will zip out of its barrel and set a course towards them. That does give it that splash damage factor, but not much of it. Seeing that Ice Blast is still nice, but the majority of its power comes from its standard firing mode, which is a shame because in theory it should be great. Before number 1 is uncovered, let's go over some honourable mentions. The first one I have for you is the Clockwork Res. Rezzing like clockwork. It's an arms race weapon which can drop anywhere there, but does have an increased chance to drop from this chest. The Clockwork Reds is best used not shooting at bad guys but at your teammates. It fires a single orb enhanced with a magical touch that will give life to whoever it hits. Yes, using this gun on a teammate or my very close friend, good job pooping, I don't know the guy, when they're down will revive them instantly, although it does have a 30-second cooldown. It's a must-have gun for every team player, especially considering a raid boss will be making its way into the game very soon. The last honourable mention I have for you is the Carrier, another assault rifle. This one also comes non-elemental and has an increased chance to draw from Judge Hightower. You fight around here on the edge of Electricity. The Carrier's main draw is in its unique ability, which causes bullets to travel through enemies and arc into another. This means that the damage listed on the card is effectively doubled, as each bullet will deal damage twice, sometimes to the same target if there's no one left around. Having double the firepower is great and means it'll proc abilities more often. It's a good fit for everyone, but is particularly useful on Amara, who can increase the amount of ricocheting projectiles, or Fadeaway Flak, who can get the secondary damage counting as crits. However, it is in desperate need of a buff, nowhere near what it used to be, but I have faith it'll return. Here we are, just on time. It's number 1. Without it, a chain would just be some metal. And it's the Link, another pistol. It can only be dropped by Anointed Alpha. You fight around here in the Anvil. The Link was unable to come anointed for the longest time, over a year, but it can now, which is a big plus. However, it won't drop anointed every time, even if you've maxed out your mayhem levels, which makes finding a good one harder than most. It fires 2 projectiles which intersect a few meters from its firing point, kind of like you'd see on a Messerschmitt, Spitfire, Zero or P-51 Mustang, and it kind of feels like you're holding a World War II plane in your hand. It just fires a much smaller caliber. Because of that firing pattern, the Link is best in close ranges where both bullets can intertwine just before hitting your target's critical spot, shredding through them at both angles. Although it has lower damage than the multi-tap, it does have almost double the fire rate, which is rapid, and it has a mammoth magazine size to go with it. If you want to shoot all day and shoot some more at night, then this is the gun for you. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of the top 5 legendary weapons manufactured by Atlas in Borderlands 3. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.